All right, it looks like it's recording. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land, this is Sam Dennehy, aka Halfass Customs, and this is Halfass Presents, the podcast. Today, we have London, Drysdale?
London Drysdale.
You can tell I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to read.
Yeah, people butcher it quite a bit.
London Drysdale. London, we had you on the live podcast, which was pretty cool. I appreciate you doing that. And that was the first kind of real interaction that we've had. So I thought, hey, why don't we get an interview with you and then have all of our viewers that are watching and or listening to get to know you and see what you're all about. So without further ado, London, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got in the hobby?
Yeah, so I've been modeling for about, say 6 or 7 years now. And I just happened to walk into a training club one day and it got me hooked on models and scale stuff. And ever since then, I've been making my own stuff and selling it. Just from about 7 months ago, I've been doing it full time now. I had to leave my old job, so I figured the best thing to do in the meantime was build my models and sell them. So I own and operate Cherokee Valley Railroad. I build all my stuff and usually sell it on eBay. That's my favorite place to sell. And I do some business on Facebook too, like custom orders and that sort of thing. And that's about the sum of it.
That's awesome, man. So I'm going to ask a dumb question. Yep. It's more of a question of a life pursuit that I think most of us modelers would love to be able to pursue. Are you building and selling enough to sustain a lifestyle? Or is it still more of just a hobby?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's why I usually tell people I'm in between jobs. It's kind of the best thing to say. But yeah, I mean, I know people that do it full time, and you can do it full time, but I struggle with it a lot. If I was just selling like on Facebook, there's no way I could do it. That's why I go to eBay, because that's stuff goes for a lot more. I get a lot more viewers on my items, and that's the best place to sell it. But I mean, I would say no. I mean, for me, I couldn't do it like full time. Like it supports me enough to do some of the things I like. Like I'm heavily into overlanding, if you know what that is. Like camping, off-roading.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
So I fund that a little bit, and the rest I save, and I have to put some back into the models so I can make more. But
that's the biggest problem, is being able to sell but make enough to put back into the hobby to make more, to sell more. A lot of people, I think, break even, and that doesn't really help them buy more to sell more. Just they have enough to buy one other thing, to make that one thing, to sell that again, to make another thing, to sell that again, to make it. Yeah, you have to really be good at business, I guess, and understand the profit margin on certain things in order to truly come out on top.
Yeah,
I haven't figured that out.
Yeah, I've kind of have it down pat a little bit, like not 100%, but I try to buy stuff in like big lots or big collections, like, well, I guess medium-sized collections, but get stuff on. I actually buy a lot of stuff on eBay, and then I weather it and customize it and kit bash and whatever, and then resell it on eBay. But
that's awesome. I don't sell a lot of my stuff. I kind of build for me, and I mean, I mostly always just build for me. And then if somebody says, hey, can you build that same thing that you already built, or can you sell that one? Then I have to try to build another one. Yeah. And then sell that one, because I don't really want to build. But I do have this one client, Tyler Kimmel, I think his last name is. He's a regular customer. He's my number one customer. He's probably got like 10 or 12 or 15 of my custom cars I built for him over the years. And he's my number one customer. But everybody else, I don't really have a big clientele at all. And soon as I post up one of those Ghostbusters cars, that's when the floodgates open and they're like, oh, I want one. And then they see the price I'm asking. They're like, oh, I can't afford that.
Yeah. As far as like, even like when I sell stuff on eBay, you can like, you can see who buys it and their name and everything. I won't say his name, but there's this one guy. I mean, if you look back, he literally, I would say, buys 80% of all 187 models on eBay.
Wow.
Like, I don't know him personally or anything, but like if I go back,
we should all get to know him.
Yeah. He's not on Facebook or anything. He's like just an eBay guy, and I have a lot of those. It's just I mean, I couldn't imagine his collection. But
if he's buying 80 or 70 or 80% of that stuff, then yeah, because there's a lot of that stuff on eBay.
Yeah, like I have it saved, like where like new stuff comes up, so I can see it just to see what, like,
nice,
who I'm competing with and stuff, and what they're building. It's funny because if I build something like say a fire truck that has certain kind of features, and like a couple weeks later another guy will have the same thing if it does well, so people are watching. Yeah,
getting little hints and cues from you to figure out what they need to do to make some money. Yeah, I've had several people say I should put those Ghostbusters cars on eBay and see, because I could probably get more than what I'm selling them for, and then that would open up the market for a whole new clientele, because I literally only post on Facebook. I have an Instagram, but I don't really use it for this hobby at all. I actually just got the Instagram to use the name, so that way nobody else could take the name. And then I got a Twitter for the same reason, so nobody could take the name, and it's not my name, it's my username. But I deleted the app of Twitter because I don't use it at all, but I'm still registered and I'm still logged into it, I guess, so nobody can take it. I don't know. But that's the only reason why I got it. And I had a YouTube channel with my username, and then I wasn't really making videos, but I had forgot the password, and then it asked me then I forgot the email address that I use for it. So I was like, well, now I can't do nothing with this. Like, kind of locked me out of it for good. I'm like, dang it. So I just got rid of that. I told YouTube, look, I can't figure out how to get back into this. I don't need your help doing it. Just delete the whole account, because I can't use it.
Yeah.
But anyways, I should look into eBay, but I don't really build like that. I kind of just build my own customs or customs for customers upon request. Like, I say, hey, if you want it, I need half down so I can buy everything I need. And then when it's done, I'll show you the video or show you photos, and then you pay the rest when it's done. So eBay wouldn't work that way.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you do that, though.
Yeah, like as far as that goes, I'm about the same though. Like as far as custom, like people actually reaching out to me, that's 100% Facebook. Like if I'm like, I have a guy right now that's buys fire trucks and all kinds of stuff, and I've built, I believe, 4 fire trucks, and I'm building 2 more little news vehicles for him, and a few other things. But yeah, for custom clientele, it's usually Facebook. As far as eBay goes, I mean, I've been on eBay a lot longer than Facebook. I've been on eBay for like 7 or 8 years. So
I think it's been out longer than Facebook. So
it's been out since like 91 or something like that. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. But
it's funny how Amazon outdid eBay within just a few years, because Amazon is still really new compared to how new or old eBay is. Yeah, the biggest downside though to selling on eBay is the fees, because they take a lot from you. Like, they claim it's only like 4 or 5 or 6%, but I think it's more like 15. Jeez.
I mean, it's still more than I could get off Facebook even after those fees, but
right.
I don't complain. I mean, it gives me a place to sell them, so.
Right, and it gives you a whole new clientele. I mean, even if they're not buying it, they're seeing it. people that may not have Facebook, because there are plenty of people that don't, or
Oh, yeah.
people that had it and then got rid of it because of whatever political BS they see on the news or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like, it's funny because I look at Facebook, and you're an exception along with Tom Hart and a few others, but Facebook seems to be more for, say, 30 or 35-year-olds and older, and Twitter and Instagram is all you young kids. Most of the, I think, age group with this Facebook is say 35 or older year old people on it, using it because we don't want to use all that other stuff that is out there. And I even said it myself. I'm 40, and I said, what is the point of Instagram and Twitter if Facebook is both of those in one? There's just no point. It just doesn't make sense to me that it's just as popular or more popular for younger kids than Facebook would be. But what do I know? I'm old.
I don't I don't like Twitter or Instagram. I don't even have an Instagram account anymore, but I have a Twitter. I have a Twitter just because I do some gaming on a league with like race cars. So that's the only reason I have that, is just to private message people on there for that.
Right. But, well, it's funny. So I've been into model cars of different scales for 30 years now. I'm 40. For 30 years, I've been into model cars. And back, say, late 90s, that's when the internet really got big, into internet forums and hobby forums and all this other stuff, and car culture and whatever. And so there's all these different internet sites with the forums that you could be part of, like a Facebook version of it. And I was in all these forums for model cars and regular cars and stuff. And then late 2000s, the forums started dying down, like when Facebook started to blow up even bigger than it already was. And everybody's like, you got to go to Facebook. You got to go to Facebook. So I'm like, oh, look, I had a MySpace and that didn't work. I'm sure Facebook is going to drown at some point too. And I was anti-Facebook for so long. And I finally got one when like nobody was posting in these forums anymore, except for like extremely old people. But it wasn't enough action for me to like want to keep on it. And I was like, I guess I'll get a Facebook. And that's the only reason why I got one, is because of the hobbies. I didn't get one to stay in touch with my friends and family. It was just for, well, the friends in the hobby I did, but it was just for the hobbies. That's the only reason why I got a Facebook. And it's still really 100%. The only thing I use Facebook for. I post up my photos and pictures of everything else. In my family life, it doesn't really go on Facebook hardly ever.
Yeah. Same here. The only reason I have Facebook is for Cherokee Valley Railroad. Like that's it. Just to post, like if I post something on my personal page, it's like it can be on there for 3 months and 0 people see it. So I mean, that's why I just have my page for my company, and that's it.
Well, the funny thing too, like Facebook, I get constantly. Well, I can't say constantly. I think I've had Facebook for 9 or 8 years. I don't know. And I never deleted any of the friend requests, but I don't accept very many friend requests. I think on my whole entire lifespan of Facebook, I only have around 300 or 400 friends. And then on top of that, how many actually of those are your friends? They're just trying to follow you like an Instagram would be or something. I only know maybe 10% or less of those actual people. And so I probably have like 800 or 1,000 friend requests because of what I build. And then the podcast started blowing up friend requests because they want to, but I don't post anything on my own page. So it's useless to be my friend, because you're not going to see any updates unless you're in a group that I'm in. That's the only way you're going to see those. So I don't accept most friend requests unless I kind of really know you, or I follow you already in something else that you're doing or whatever.
Yeah, I've been on there for like, I don't know, 6 years or something like that. I have like 70 friends or something. Like I don't get a lot of friend requests. Like I had some scammers once in a while. That's about it.
Right. Yeah, that's the biggest problem. You get like those friend requests of this Asian woman that looks more beautiful than real, and you're like, come on now, You don't know me.
Yeah.
You don't want to be my friend, and you're probably not real anyway.
I get like 2 of those a week. Like, right. I love the earth, and I just want to party or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, fake person.
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't have gave him my credit card number. Well, but, you know.
Oops. That's cool, though. So, I guess back to modeling.
Yeah.
I know in the live stream we talked, but that was a month ago. And I don't remember what happened a week ago, really. So what got you into it besides just going to that hobby? You said train show, hobby store, whatever you said?
It was a train, like a model railroad club or something, I guess you could call it. It's since been changed to a museum, actually, but it started as a railroad club.
So when you went to that, like, did you like trains already, or did you like vehicles, or was it just something that you said, oh, this is different, let me look into it deeper, and then you kind of really started to like it for what it was? Or
yeah, so like I didn't even know like a single thing like about 187 vehicles back then. Like it wasn't even a fathom in my imagination. Like I just happened to, I looked in the window, I thought it was cool, I went in, and they were awesome group of guys. I learned so much from them guys, and it was amazing. But yeah, there was like I said in the live thing, they just went through like a big major flood in that building, so they were actually redoing the HO layout, and there was like 0 HO guys in that club. Like they were all like Lionel guys, I guess you could say.
Ooh, toy
trains.
Trains, yeah.
Yeah, that, and they were huge into the G scale, like logging and that sort of thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but there was I would say 2 guys in there, and not without including myself, that were into HO stuff. So I got a chance to help rebuild that whole train layout, and that's probably the main thing that got me into. I just could never get into anything else really but HO, and today I'm still not a huge. I like HO trains, but I'm not huge into trains too much. But
yeah, that's like me. I like trains too, but I mean, I'm not going to build a train layout. I'll probably build a module like I was talking about in another pod or another episode. There's this club out here, Switchin' and Sippin' or something.
Oh yeah, I've heard
North Carolina. Yeah, their criteria for their modules will fit our criteria for our Route 187 modules. Perfect. So you can have both, and that I'm looking into that. And that'll be the only train thing I kind of like really get into. And it's not even, I won't have no trains there. It'll just be trains going over my scenery, That's kind of what I'm looking into, because I don't really care about trains that much to collect them or to run them. But to build the dioramas and the modules, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I love those like HO modular layouts. Like I really like those layouts. And that was the one thing I didn't like about the club in Michigan that I was in. It was they weren't like I guess it's like a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. It's like it's like a free for all layout. Like you can do whatever you want whenever you want. But I kind of like the module. Like they give you it and you can build it up. Because a lot of guys there weren't like about scale. Like they had Hot Wheels cars on the HO layout and stuff like that. So that hurts me when I see that a little bit. But
you go to a train show and you still see those every once in a while. They're starting to go away from that, but say 10 years ago, definitely 20 years ago, that's all you would see. And it hurts the whole look of what they're trying to do. I mean, their module could look great, and then you throw 100 Hot Wheels on there and you're like, whatever.
Yeah.
You can't even focus on the details of the module because those cars are just so out of place.
Well, yeah, I kind of like when I was there, I was like, I actually told everybody, I said, like, listen, I said, I'm going to go here today and I'm taking off anything on this layout that is not HO scale. And they let go for it. So that was good. But
nice. And then you said, let me bring a trash can and it's going to follow me.
We had a big free box there for little kids to take them. So I was just dumping the Hot Wheels in there.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So we used to give away like all kinds of stuff. And every Christmas, it was the the Christmas was the big thing, especially with the, the Lionel stuff and all that.
Right.
And I used to hand out, models and like Hot Wheels and stuff. But yeah, it was cool.
I was going to say, it's funny because I went to the Amherst show up there in Massachusetts, and I was talking to these Lionel train club, and I said, why do you guys run these things full blast when in every other scale they run it slow to look more real? And they said, because these things are toys. That's all they were meant to be. So we're going to run them and play with them like toys. And I said, yes, but all this stuff is toys. I mean, a train set is one big toy for a big kid. And we're not running our steam locomotive at full throttle, ready to flip over the track, which is amazing that Lionel doesn't flip over the track. I just don't understand that. But they said, because we look at it as a toy, and that's what it is. It's meant to be run this quick. And that's what you see in every commercial from back in the day. That's what you see in every movie that had a Lionel. You see it running full blast, and that's what we're all about. And I was like, I mean, I guess, but I guess I'm never
it's like
do that.
You literally just like quoted like exactly what they told me. I mean,
right.
That Lionel group is like all their guys are all the same, like almost exact.
Yeah, I mean, even those. Well, I was going to say, even those what scale is that? The ones that you can actually ride on, the steam engine and the diesel engines, you can ride on them.
Like that was another funny thing actually. Is
only some of them run at full speed. The other ones just run at like a medium speed for those things, and you're like, okay, that seems more realistic.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Like every other hobby toy train scale runs them like a real train would run for the most part, and Lionel and maybe just a very few others, they just go full out. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, there was one guy in our club that had he did O scale, like not like O gauge, but like where you actually like build your own rails and stuff like that for O scale.
Yeah.
And he had his layout basically looked like HO layout, but just bigger. Like everything was super scale, and everything was in his basement, and it was pretty awesome. It was a huge layout too.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm from California, and we don't really have basements out there on most houses. Everything's on a concrete slab, unless you have something that was maybe built in the 1940s, which there is a lot out there. But I mean, I didn't live in nothing like that. Everything's built on a concrete slab. So we moved out here to North Carolina, and it seems like houses at a certain square footage only have basements. And usually if they do have basements, they're finished basements. So thinking like 3,000 square foot or 4,000 square foot or bigger, they have basements, and they're finished for the most part. I live in a house that's just under 3,000 square foot, and we have a crawl space. Not finished at all. Dirt all on the floor with spiders everywhere. And so, there's no way, of doing anything underneath my house. But going out west to St. Louis to see Mike Buddy and Ken Patterson, all that, to the RPM meet, like every house out there is built with an automatic basement. It's like it comes standard with the house. And that's like a whole nother house underneath there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's why they're building all these train sets out there and whatever, because they can.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like that up there where you live too? Which is kind of mandatory that they're all out there under houses?
Well, yeah, I mean, Indiana, where I am, I mean, it's kind of, I actually don't see a ton of basements. I mean, now Michigan, there was a lot, which is weird because, the big problem with basements, they always flood and stuff. So.
Right.
But
if you don't get it, made right, then it'll definitely do that.
Yeah, I don't see a lot in this area, but up in Michigan where like the guy had that O scale layout. He had a huge basement, all concrete, and he was like 20 foot from a lake too. So that's not a great idea, but
wow,
he never had
especially if it fills.
Yeah,
if that dam up the lake breaks, then your basement's getting flooded.
Yeah, well, he had he lives up there for like 6 months, and he lives in North Carolina for another 6 months. So I think he's got a basement down there too. Not sure.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, if he has a basement there for a train layout, he's got to have something out here for a different hobby or the same hobby. Who knows?
Well, he's in. I can't quite remember, but he's when he's in North Carolina, I know he's a member of like a full size like steam engine group. I mean, like they actually work on like a real steam engine.
Like there's only two places out here in the whole state that have. One place has a year-round steam engine. The other place only has a seasonal steam engine. They're both in the mountains of North Carolina, so it's the western part of North Carolina. Nothing steam or really even excursion locomotives is on the east coast of North Carolina. So he's got to have something out there.
I believe it's I know it's a big thing of it's like steam powered, like a sawmill and that sort of thing. So they mill their own lumber and like make ties and stuff.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I used to live in Western North Carolina about 5-6 years ago. I was in pretty close to the Smoky Mountains National Park area, and they had the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad, I believe it's called.
Right, that's the seasonal one. Because the other part of the season, they just use like a 1940s or 50s diesel engine to do their excursions. But in Boone, they have a Tweetsie Railroad, which they have two steam engines, like 430s or something, that run year round. And it's at a theme park. So they have a Tweetsie theme park with a little, I don't know, probably like a 3-mile, 4-mile circle for that steam engine to run on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the year-round one, and that Great Smoky Mountains one is like a seasonal steam engine.
Yeah,
it's still pretty neat though.
Yeah, there's one I know about in Indiana. It's way down south Indiana where there's like small mountains, and it was I was actually just there like it was 3 weeks ago, I believe. I seen it. I don't think it runs in the winter though, but I can't remember the name of it, but it's they have a steam engine and a couple diesels, and they have like a actually it's pretty far. I think it's like 10 miles of track, and
that's cool.
It's pretty cool. I've always wanted to do it, but I never did.
Yeah. Well, we went to a mountain range for my little girl's gymnastics, Cherokee Mountains out there.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, 10 miles away down these little windy 2-lane roads is that the Great Smoky Mountain steam engine, or the train ride. They were talking about like $121 or $125 a ticket, and they serve you lunch, and the train only goes maybe 15 miles an hour the whole time, so you're on there for too long to have lunch. And you start off at like 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock, and they bring you back somewhat in the evening or early evening, I don't know. But for that kind of money, I was like, I'm good. I don't need to ride on a train for this much money. I could take an Amtrak for probably $30 and go halfway down the country.
Yeah. Yeah, our club up there was actually, we were planning this trip to Canada.
Wow.
And I'm trying to remember why that got canceled. I can't remember for some reason, but I don't think enough people signed up. But I think it was called
That would be an expensive trip though. So it makes sense if not enough people signed up. That
it was an overnight thing, I believe. So I believe you stayed on the train. It was, I think, somewhere around $300 a person, $350, something like that. And I was gonna go because I never did anything like it, so I thought it'd be a cool experience. And I was gonna go, but it got canceled right at the end. So
here's what's funny. Right before we moved out here, we lived in a part of California called Ventura County, and it was right where the freeway meets the ocean, and then it drives up along the side of the ocean for half the state. But it was we lived in a little town right where the freeway met the ocean, so we were 10 minutes from the ocean. Regardless, 30 minutes east, there's a little town called, I think it's Santa Paula. A lot of towns in California are Mexican ascent named. Yeah. So this was called Santa Paula, and they have a train museum there. And come to find out, which I didn't know even when I was living there, there's so many shows, like TV, movies, music videos, so much stuff being filmed out there, and they use that train. There's a steam engine and a diesel engine that goes through, and they use it for everything. Like Reno 911, that TV show on Comedy Central, whatever channel it was on.
Yeah.
They filmed all like the outside scenes that weren't affiliated with the overhead shots of Reno, all out there. And a lot of it, they're driving over the train tracks, and there's like one scene where they have a train situation, and I was like, holy, I know that train. That's crazy. And then there was a part of The Office, that TV show, The Office, the US version, where Steve Carell wants to break up with his girlfriend, whatever her name was in the show, and he runs across the street to a train yard and sits in a train car, and I was like, that's it again. When was this filmed? Was I out there in California? Why do I not know about these filming shoots? I would love to watch all of them. And then I just recently, like a few months ago, I seen this. I don't really listen to rap music today. I think most rap music today is just crap music. But there was this like fat white guy. I don't even know what he's called. He seemed very hillbilly-ish, white trash, in my opinion. But he sings this rap song that's actually not bad, which is unbelievable to me. And they're doing it all in a train car while the train's moving. And it was filmed out there in Santa Paula. And I was like, that's that train again. Yeah. And there's so much stuff. And it's like, man, if I knew that stuff was happening while I was out there, I would have got a job at that train museum. Just so I could be on location when all this stuff was being shot all the time. That'd just be neat. Not even be in the show, just to watch it happening. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's what was along the Great Smoky Mountains Railroad, I believe they filmed the Fugitive, was it? Or they?
Is that where they filmed that?
Yeah, where
I haven't seen that movie since it came out, so that was a long time ago.
Yeah, so they have like a train wreck in the movie, and I believe the train's still sitting along the tracks, and the train goes by it around like Bryson City or something like that.
Really?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I didn't know that till I moved to Indiana, so I wasn't able to see it. But
and you were already so close living out here. You're like, I could have probably took a 30-minute drive down the road to see this train.
Yeah, because I remember the scene like where he jumps off the dam or whatever, and that was in I can't remember the name, but there was a road sign in that movie that said like Murphy, North Carolina. That's the town I used to live in, and I didn't even know that until I moved to Indiana.
Right. And here's the funny thing. It has nothing to do with trains or cars. I guess it kind of has something to do with cars. They were in a car, in a movie car at this scene. But there's a movie called Jay and Silent Bob Strike Backs, which I absolutely love. I think it's one of the best movies in the franchise of their movies. And it was filmed 5 minutes from my house on the other side of the freeway. And I drove that road every day. But that movie was filmed 6 months before I got the job where I needed to drive that road. But I was already living out there, and I never knew it was being filmed. But if anybody remembers that movie, they're hitchhiking down this 2-lane road, and they see George Carlin and ask for a ride, and George Carlin gives them the rules of the road. And later that night, as they're still trying to hitchhike, they run into a Scooby-Doo van, which is just a bunch of pot smokers in a hippie van.
Yeah.
That resembles a Scooby-Doo van. But that whole road, I drove every single day, and I'm like, there's those iconic background scenes. There they are. Why didn't I know this was being filmed here? God dang it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I think that's like that with every state. Like, these iconic places that you later see in films or TV shows, and you're like, why wasn't I being aware of this? I could have been down there watching it.
I know one of my favorite movies. I mean, it's very stupid. I'm sure Unstoppable. You're seeing that movie with the train.
So that movie reminds me of another movie that was made in like the 80s or 70s.
Yeah.
Or maybe that is the same movie. That is the same movie. There's another movie that was made later that was kind of based on the same situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the Unstoppable was in the snow, right? Wasn't that the snow one? Or was
no,
that
I don't think so.
Okay. So then hold on. When did Unstoppable come out? Recently, within the last 15 years? 10 years?
Yeah, it was like 2000.
Okay.
12 or something.
Other movie came out in the 70s or early 80s based on the same situation, but it was in the snowy mountains.
Okay. Maybe they rebooted it. I don't know. But...
Well, it's Unstoppable was based on a true story.
Yeah.
And this other movie, what was that movie called? All these people that are going to listen to this is going to know. But yeah, the other movie is also based on a true story. But it was, I don't even know where it was. I don't even know if it was in this country. It could have been in Canada, could have been Russia, could have been wherever. But they're like in the back engine. It's like 2 engines or 3 engines long. And it's just the engines going. And they're going like full speed or something. And they've got to like climb to the front engine to like help slow it down. But it's so icy and they're going so fast that they like freeze as soon as they get outside, that it takes up the whole movie to get to the front of the engine. I don't even remember if they stop it. I don't think they stop it. I think the one guy unhooks the connector and then the engine still goes while these other ones just slowly come to a stop. And then that guy drifts off into the snow bank somewhere and you never see him again.
Yeah.
But everybody that watches is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. That's old enough that has seen that movie. You're going to know what I'm talking about. I can't remember what it was called. But it was kind of like watching Unstoppable again because this train that can't stop.
Yeah.
Like that old movie that I'd already seen from the 70s.
Yeah, just by the name of the movie, you pretty much know how the movie's going to go.
Right.
And it says based on a true story, and the train goes around the corner on 2 wheels and all kinds of stuff.
I was just going to bring that part up. Like that was the only part of the movie I thought, God, Hollywood's got to throw their stupid BS in it at every stop they can. Like I highly doubt that actual thing happened in real life. It could have. Yeah. I just don't think it did.
And I say like 90% of that movie didn't happen in real life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's God, being born and raised in California and then living out here, you're just used to that lifestyle out there and everything. You take it for granted that that's just the way things get portrayed out there. And then you move out here, you move anywhere else in the country and actually see real life. And you're like, God, this is so stupid. Why does Hollywood do this? Yeah. Just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know if you ever saw that original Charlie's Angels. I think it was the original one, the original Charlie's Angels movie, not TV show, movie, with Drew Barrymore and then the other 2 people. They go to this racetrack, the California Raceway, and this is in it's about 2.5 hours from Long Beach or LA because of traffic, only because of traffic. They take these Indy cars, they drive them out of the raceway, they go down this main street, and then the next scene, they're in the Long Beach bridges, the Long Beach bridges that go over a lot of the shipping yards out there.
Yeah.
In the very next scene, and they splice it together like it's one long road that they just drove down, and it's coherent. Like anybody with a brain that knows Southern California says, God dang it, you're dumb, Hollywood.
Yeah.
Quit making stupid stuff. Quit doing dumb things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny we talking about movies and whatnot because there's a lot of I won't say a lot, but there's a good few movie related scenes I would like to portray in diorama form in this scale.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I just saw, I think somebody posted in my movie TV vehicles group a couple months ago or maybe even a year ago that they took a 187 scale diesel truck, a cab over truck, like that flat nose, it's just a big box sitting on top of the wheels. That truck, and they have it crashing over a river bottom, like from Terminator 2, and they have the motorcycle down there with the Terminator on it, and the truck's right at the breaking point of that bridge where he broke through the barrier. Yeah, and it's getting ready to go over, and I thought how cool is that? I would have never thought of doing that scene, but that is awesome because anybody old enough to have loved that movie or seen that movie will recognize that scene instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to come up with more movie stuff, because a lot of it's already been created, so it's hard to come up with new ideas.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
like no, the Twister truck, though. I did that one. I just happened to think of that.
And I honestly, I think, and I said this in a reply, I think, or I said it in the live stream, I think you're the only one to do that. I don't think anybody in our hobby, in our scale, maybe in the 125th scale or maybe in another scale, but in our 187 scale HO scale, I don't think anybody's ever done that. I don't think anybody's even thought of that.
I just happened to, I don't know how I even thought of it really. I just happened to think of it. It just came to me one day and I was like, because I always search to see if I can find it if it's already been created. And I didn't see anything. So I figured, well, I'll make that. And
right.
That's what I'm still doing. I'm still trying to come up with new stuff, but I don't know of a whole lot.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of podcasts. I love comedy. Comedy is like my main force of living. If it's not funny, or if I can't make it funny, it's boring and stupid, and I just don't want to deal with it. So even like real life situations, I'll find the humor in it. It's bad. It's like dark humor I like, because the light humor is so overdone and it's so mellow, it's so quiet, it's so nothing that you got to go further and further and further so you get more extreme. That's where I'm at. And because of that, because I listen to a lot of comedians, their podcasts, and they're not always funny, but I like the comedian, so I watch the podcast or I listen to it while I'm working. So I watch a lot of YouTube. But with that, I don't even know where I was going. We were talking about, I just lost what I was going to say. What were we just talking about? Movies and ideas for movies.
Yeah.
What was right after that?
Movies, ideas for movies. Then you forgot what you're going to say.
Well, I brought up the YouTube podcasting for
comedians.
Yeah. I don't know, but let me try to bring this back to modeling somehow. Yeah. I watch a lot of YouTube. I listen to a lot of podcasts from comedians doing their own podcasts and whatnot. And I find humor extremely one of the biggest points of anybody's life that wants to have a happy and easygoing life. And I've seen some comedy things in like movies or television that I want to still try to portray. Like one of the guys created a decal set for an SNL skit that why am I drawing a blank? The big fat guy that died, not Jim Belushi, but the guy after him. Oh God, everybody's going to kill me in the comments. But that guy created a character of a therapeutic life coach that lived in a van down by the river. And there was never a scene in the skit that showed you the van. There was never anything that showed you him living down by the river. His persona and his character was this life coach to try to get you on the straight and narrow, back on the right path because of his situation. And one guy created decals to go on the side of one of the talent vans that, says, I think it said like guy that lives down by the river or something. And he created that. And I thought, nobody would ever think about doing that ever. You did it. And now you got to put it on a van. And you got to create a scene for that. You got to make Chris Farley. That's what his name is. Chris Farley. You got to create a Chris Farley character to be sitting down by the van next to the river, or else nobody's going to get even the van with the logo on the side of it. Maybe you still not even get that. Who knows? I think I don't know what I was getting at by bringing up that podcast stuff. Sorry, but
that's fine.
Looking at your age, this is my man. I'll tell you what, dude. It's not that I can't remember what happened last week. I can't remember just what happened. I remember now. The point of me bringing all that up was there's a latest craze in YouTube that's blowing up right now. And I don't want to do it because I'm too old and I've seen everything that all these millennials are watching now. But it's reaction videos to movies.
Oh, yeah.
And you watch these reaction videos of all the movies I've already seen and I truly enjoy and love. And you watch them and you're like, okay, well, you're just too young to understand 90 or 75% of this humor. You find what's going on funny, but you don't get why it's funny. And the few people that do get what's funny, you're like, okay, you've seen other things that you understand why this scene is funny because of what they're making fun of or whatever. And I look at you, and you're fairly young, and I know you haven't seen everything I've seen, but I've talked to other people in other episodes about the golden age of using vehicles or any transportation item as a character in the movie, like Kirby the Love Bug or Knight Rider or, whatever. All the stuff from like the 70s and the 80s and even early 90s that they don't do today. Mm-hmm. And, your reference for you is much, I'd say, smaller in the sense of because of your age and your lifespan for making movie scenes, because we don't use vehicles as characters like we did back then. So all your references are going to be old stuff. Old stuff. And the closest thing we got today is like Transformers and Fast and Furious. And nobody's really making those cars in abundance in this scale for us to make Tokyo drift scenes with or whatnot, So if you're going to build it, it's going to be probably something that somebody's already else has built. You're right. And that really sucks because we need more movies today to give people the ideas of making new stuff that we haven't already done 100 times already. God, that took forever to get to that point. Gee whiz. If I could edit this out any better, I would just cut 20 minutes of that out right there. But it does suck because you need more references for current stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of my stuff I get from, the older stuff. I mean, Dukes of Hazzard and A-Team and all that stuff. Like, I believe it was, back when I was in that club, I built the back, you built one too, the Back to the Future train with the car.
Yeah,
I built
one
too? I built one that you can actually, I took HO wheels and put them on the bottom and the train actually can drive around like with it. It was pretty cool. And I didn't know, I don't know when you built yours, but I mean, that was before I was even on Facebook.
It was earlier this year.
Okay, yeah, that was a long time ago, but
that's cool.
Yeah, and then I have an A-Team van over here. I haven't finished it yet, but
oh, that's cool. I know Joseph Olivins just recently built one, I think earlier this year as well. I haven't built that truck yet. Or that van.
It's awesome. He showed me his. It's pretty cool. I just have one of the Shapeways ones.
That's where I was going to get mine from.
Yeah. I bought it like 6-7 months ago, and I don't know, I never built it.
Well, I mean, that Twister truck, you're the only one so far that has that truck built, complete and ready to go. Nobody else has built that, and for the most reason, nobody's got those pods or whatever they are in the back of the truck, the bed.
Yeah, these little Dorothy units. See if you can see them there.
Yeah, nobody has those, so that's why they haven't built it.
Yeah, it was just a simple thing too. It's just I haven't done anything to the truck. It's just an Erdl Dodge. I just weathered it a little bit.
Yeah, and that's why I want those Dorothy pods too, so I can do the same thing. Because I've had that Earl truck as long as I've been into this scale. I have both. I have that green dually.
Yeah.
And I have that red one. And I haven't never done anything with that red truck. It's actually sitting in my storage unit upstairs, like in my attic, for probably the last 3 years, because I can't figure out what to do with it. I don't really want to ruin it by like doing a complete custom job with it.
Yeah.
But I can't leave it stock. In my head, it just needs something done to it. And as soon as you posted it, I was like, yes, that's what I want to. Finally do something with that truck.
I think I kind of remembered how I got it, because I built a farm diorama, and I just happened to look over and I seen the truck, and I think I kind of put 2 and 2 together.
That's awesome. Because I never put that 2 to 2 together. I never even thought of, because for one, I don't think of that movie as those vehicles being a part of being a essential part, even though they're definitely essential, but I don't see them as more powerful than the characters. Like in all these other 70s and 80s and early 90s movies, these vehicles are literally part of the movie. Like it's a main character. And I never saw that movie. Like if you look at the movie Con Air, which is not a very good movie, but it's an iconic movie for an early 90s movie. And they've got this jumbo military cargo plane that they're all in, that they're using to transport these prisoners in. And then the prisoners take over the plane, crash it, and lands in the desert. But if you have that in any scale, you can easily just build like a 1-foot-by-foot or 2-foot-by-2-foot desert sand dunes area, crash that plane down, and have these orange jumpsuit people all around it. And anybody old enough that recognizes and remembers that movie would instantly know what that is. It's not completely recognizable and rememberable, like say a Star Wars or something else. But for the super fans, they'd be like, oh, I know what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't have, and that truck that you made is that same thing. If you didn't even put the tornado in the background of that scene, I would have saw what was in the bed of that and goes, yes, I know what that is. So that's neat that you did that. I don't think anybody's ever thought of that, ever, in this scale hobby, ever thought of that. And if they did, I don't know anything about it. So you're the first person. Good job.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I want to. I want to build all those vehicles from that movie, because they had some cool stuff. I mean, like that Jeep pickup. And
I don't even care about that. I like that other team's vehicle
the Suburban.
That had like it looked like a damn submerged tank that could go in the water or something.
Like it was a Suburban with a trailer, and then like 3 or 4 minivans.
Yeah,
they were all blacked out.
Right.
It was cool. Yeah, I want to do those. Those are pretty cool.
Then there's you can also, I mean, you don't have to, but there's also, you can do real life cars. Like you see those tornado chasers that used to have a TV show, and they're driving like stealth vehicles that look armored and whatnot. And they don't even look like a vehicle because it's all armored on the outside. It looks like a spaceship on wheels.
Yeah, somewhat of a friend of mine. He does that. He has he's a tornado chaser out in Oklahoma, I think. And he's got a The only reason I found him was actually I drive a Nissan Xterra, which is like a 4x4.
Right.
And I'm a member of the Xterra group, and he was on there, and I seen he has this thing with like metal plates all over it, and like to weigh it down. It's pretty awesome.
They look menacing. Like if you saw that coming up behind you, you would literally think, did the apocalypse just happen? What was going on here? Because those look like perfect apocalyptical like type vehicles.
Yeah.
And that's what they're made to be, because it's got to withstand a tornado or super close to one, you know?
Yeah, so I'm sure they get like 6 miles a gallon.
Probably. And then they're in the middle of Oklahoma, which is middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So you got to have, I don't know, you got to deck that truck out so good to where you don't run out of gas just chasing that tornado for 5 miles or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie was neat. Twister.
Yeah.
For what it was. And I never thought of it, like I said, before you showed it, to even think about making any one of those vehicles. So it's neat that you did that. And the fact that you want to do more of them, you know, to get like that whole fleet of cars, that'd be neat. Then you got to build like this. You got to build that big, huge wind detector that they had in those yards in the grandma's yard or the mother's yard or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And make them move. Got to make them move somehow.
Well, actually, kind of a little bit of a sneak peek to my upcoming video I'm going to film on YouTube is a drive-in movie theater. So nice. I'm going to have like an actual projector. You can actually play stuff on it in HO scale. So it's going to be pretty cool. But
that's cool.
There's that big scene from Twister where they're at the drive-in and the tornado hits it. So I'm going to put the Twister truck out there and have a tornado behind it and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. Really cool.
I like that. You know, you can do that with just a simple iPad.
Yeah.
You get a small iPad, and that's like a perfect size of a drive-in movie theater screen.
Yeah, I haven't found that. I just started. I'm just in the planning processes, and I found these like little. They're called pocket projectors, and I was gonna build like a little building, like I don't know, 10 inches from it, and just have it projecting onto a screen. I thought it'd be pretty cool.
You can do so. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That could work pretty good. And if you can't get that to work for whatever reason, you do have a small iPad or whatever, even a old smartphone.
Yeah.
You can then just get a flickering light to, flicker out of the building. So it looks like it's projecting on there, even though it's not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to do a drive-in forever, but I just haven't.
Well, actually, at the train club I was a part of, I built one. I'll be honest with you, it was crappy because I knew nothing back then. But I used one of those old, like the you put a DVD in like a little laptop looking thing.
So no lie, I started building one on this module back here with the movie scene that I have.
Yeah.
I had a flip top DVD on this side and a flip top on that side, and that's what this originally used to be. I started making a drive-in and I couldn't figure it out right, and it wasn't working, and I let it sit for like 3 years, and then I started buying this movie stuff and I started redoing all that.
Yeah, I got to say though, people loved that when I had that on that layout. I mean, there was just like 20 people standing there like watching it.
Right.
They would like all the members there were like really older guys. I mean, I believe the youngest from me was like 65. So
wow. They remember going to those.
Yeah, I would have to crawl under the layout and try to stick a DVD up in this slot.
Right.
I believe they only usually ever wanted trains on it. So there's like a DVD, like 72 hours of Lionel trains running or something.
Oh, jeez.
So I would plug that in and that would go for a while. I would forget to turn it off sometimes and I'd come back a day later and it's still on playing.
Right. So. Right. That's crazy. Yeah. I had mine where, in California, we have drive-ins there. We have them all over the place, actually. Like every fourth city, California, all the cities are connected. So there's no great distances in between each city, like the east side is, the eastern part of the country is. Everything's connected, or it's just desert. And then it starts everything to connect again. And then, but in every like fourth city or fifth city, there's a drive-in somewhere in the city, and they still relatively work almost every weekend. But out there in California, we didn't have playground setups at the bottom of the screen, and I'd never seen that before until looking at train modules on the East Coast, and a lot of people put a play center for the kids at the bottom of the screen. And I was like, why are they doing that? They don't have those out there. And I found out on the East Coast they did. Huh. So I thought when I made mine, I'd have the grassy part on top of the DVD cover. So all I had to do is hit a button, the playset would open, I'd put the DVD in there and close the playset, and then it'd cover up that little hole. And that's what I was trying to do. And then the whole idea didn't work. So
yeah, mine was crappy looking. It was like, I believe it was like 4 inches thick or something. I built like a wood frame around it,
and
tried to make it, nobody thought anything of it, but
right. I mean, for what it was, though, for the time, it was still a cool idea.
Yeah.
Because still at that time, whenever you built it a couple years ago, a couple months ago, whatever, there's still not that many drive-in movie theaters on modules at train shows.
Yeah.
You know? So it's still really neat, no matter how you built it, the fact that it was playing movies on a module by trains going across it.
That was would have been, I don't know, 5 years ago probably. It was pretty recent, like when I was in that club.
Right. So
actually,
not a lot of people were doing that, making drive-in movie theaters. There's a lot more today than there was then.
Well, actually, I
today
guess
there's not a lot.
Yeah, I guess you could say I kind of stole the idea because our club used to bring like a traveling layout to some shows, and there was a big show in Lansing, Michigan. It's like the biggest one in Michigan. They haven't had it now, but it was awesome, and they had a layout there, HO like module layout, and it had a drive-in on it, like a super scale one. It was awesome. So that's kind of where I got the idea.
You know, I didn't even realize. Where are you at?
I'm in Indiana right now.
Holy crap! So you're not in the same time zone as me right now.
It's yeah.
Are you? Is it 7?
Yeah.
Indiana 7:19. I thought that was more middle of the country or closer to the middle of the country than the East Coast.
So Illinois, which is next to Indiana, is Central time zone.
Oh, so that's where
I'm right on the edge, kind of.
Oh, okay. I was thinking when we made this time frame, I was thinking you were like directly north of me, and I was like, okay, you're in the exact same time zone. We're in the same place, just I'm further down and you're further up.
Yeah,
and it just dawned on me. I was thinking we set it up for 6 o'clock, and I was like, it's probably 5 o'clock to you right now, or 6 o'clock now, and we were doing this for an hour. Crap. That's good.
No, yeah, it's 7:9. It's Illinois, and then part of Upper Peninsula of Michigan there's like a line right there. It turns central.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it should be 7 o'clock over there.
Yeah,
it should be like 6 o'clock. It's too far east. I don't know.
Well, actually, come to think of it, Indiana, it does change in Indiana in certain places. So I'm in
certain places, but not all of it.
Yeah,
that's weird.
I'm northeast Indiana, so I'm like 20 miles from Michigan and 20 miles from Ohio. So I'm like right in that top right corner.
I've never lived in a state where it could have split time zones in. So if you lived right on that thresh line, you could be 5 o'clock here and then be drinking and then go to the next time zone and say, oh, it's still 5 o'clock, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. I don't know. That's crazy. I never even thought about that. That's funny. So, back to modeling. So you have a future project of building other Twister cars from the movie. What else do you plan on? I know you said there's a lot of things that have already been done and you're looking for new ideas. What other ideas are you thinking of? And if you want to give that away, if you don't want to give that away, that's fine.
Oh no, I don't really have a lot of like movie stuff, but I mean, as far as like all kinds of models, like I have to think of ideas because I sell trucks is like my huge thing. That's what I'm into is like Boley, Walther's trucks and stuff. So like all that kind of stuff. I'm planning on doing like a septic service truck, and I actually just finished that little plumbing River Point Station truck. I don't know if you've seen that one on Facebook. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Just a lot of like Boley and Walther's and that sort of thing.
That's cool.
Construction and that kind of vehicles.
Yeah, so you're gonna go down the same route as everybody else. Okay, cool. Yeah. Good podcast. See you later.
Hey, that's where the money is. I mean,
that's what's crazy. That is where the money is, and that's probably why my clientele is so tiny. But I'm cool with it because I don't care. I'm not really building to sell anyways. But I probably should. I got all those cars and those cases back there. Just sit there until like the next show. They don't do nothing else but sit there. I don't really need them. I don't want to get rid of them, but I don't need them. They're just hundreds upon hundreds of dollars sitting on that wall that I could just sell right now.
Yeah, my favorite part of building a model is selling it, to be honest with you.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah, I love selling. Like, I've had hundreds and hundreds, probably in 1,000 models, but I only usually have like 30 at once.
No way. That's insane. Wow.
Just because I like selling stuff. If I build something like, wow, this is cool. Okay, let's put it on eBay.
Right. No, that makes sense. I never thought of it that way. Like, build it mostly to sell.
Yeah.
But build it because you like it. Put all the time that you want into it to make it something cool. But know you can make all that and more on the back end. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't look at modeling like that, but maybe I should. I really don't need all that stuff sitting there. It's more for eye candy. And when I go to like the Amherst show, I can tell you in our 187 scale club, I had more on my table than anybody else displaying had anywhere close. And then I had as much stuff on my table just to show and display as some people had to sell. Like they had a whole table full of just stuff to sell. And I probably had the same amount just to show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's mostly there for dramatic effect and eye candy. Because you come around my table and it just looks like Skittles were throwing out all over the table because everything is so color coded and looks like a rainbow. But yeah, I probably don't need to do that. I could probably sell a bunch of stuff and make some pretty good money.
I've just kind of always been that. Like, I really enjoy building it, but I enjoy selling it more. I mean,
right. Well, I mean, if you can make the money, which you sound like you are making for each of those. I mean, if like for the Ghostbusters cars, I'm making $100 more than what the full total cost of getting all the LED lights in it, all the aftermarket parts and everything, plus the car, the paint, the decals. At the end, it cost legitly about $150, and then $1 off of each car. Now, that's just selling it on Facebook, and that's a price that I thought nobody was going to buy it for.
Yeah.
But maybe if I build one and then put it on eBay, just watch that sucker go. Hopefully it does. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing with me. That's like everything I sell on eBay, like 187th, I started off at 99 cents, no reserve, and let people bid on it until it sells. Now, sometimes that works out amazing for me. Sometimes it's terrible.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely an up and down scale that you can't control.
Like if you have a model, like sometimes, like a few weeks ago, I listed 3 trucks at 99 cents, and they all went for $300 a piece.
What?
And then
holy moly!
The next week, I listed one that I thought was even cooler, and it went for $36. So I mean, it's just a crazy.
That's dang. I got a lot of money sitting on those shows.
But like I said, it all depends what it is. I mean, if somebody sees it and 2 guys see it and they bid against each other, or nobody sees it and it doesn't sell for anything.
Right. Well, that's the crazy thing too. Like my genre of custom, models, it's a small niche group. Everybody likes it and they think it's cool, but it's not their thing. So I know how much I think those things are worth, but I wonder if it actually would be that much if other people were to try to get it, Yeah. Because, I mean, I sell most of my customs, I sell to Tyler or anybody else that wants a custom hot rod or whatever from me. It's depending on the car, it can go for like $70 to $150. And it's because honestly, I have all the parts already, so I don't really normally build a whole entire car from scratch in a day. So I don't have that much time into it, and I have everything I need. So I never think like, well, the time I put into it and the amount of money I put into it, I need to make 5 times more than what all of it costs. But I figure that $70 to $150 seems high to me because I wouldn't pay that. I'm never going to pay that. I wouldn't buy my Ghostbusters car right now for $250. I wouldn't do it. As much as I love those cars, I wouldn't buy it still.
Yeah, that's the thing with that. You know, it's all about, you know, what somebody's willing to pay, you know, and how much they want it.
Yeah. Well, so here's what's funny too, because I thought I get a Ghostbusters car that lights up. I get the figurines from Indonesia.
Yep.
And then I build the firehouse. All of that, probably shouldn't give this away. All of that cost around $230. I mean, I still have to put the time in to build it and paint it.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, whatever. But the Ghostbusters house that I have only took me a few hours to build and paint because it's already, the walls are all one piece. And
yeah.
And there's just 4. Ghostbusters car honestly doesn't take me very long because I have everything I need for it. And the figurines, I'm not doing anything but buying them and waiting for them to get here because they come painted already and ready to go. So altogether, maybe $230, but I was thinking $500 package deal.
Yeah.
I mean, if the car is selling for $250, I can get the building for, you know, another $100 and the figurines for $50. You know.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the figurines cost like $45 to get here with the shipping and everything. Anyway, so I'll only be making $5 off of that. But
yeah, you gotta know your market on eBay. Like, I was building like custom like cars and stuff, and I was doing terrible with them. Like, my cars don't sell on eBay. Like, I built a new Dodge Challenger and Jeep Wranglers and stuff, and they were selling for like $22. I mean, like, so that's not worth it. I mean, the Atlas Wrangler brings $100 sometimes, but yeah, you just gotta know your clients and know what you're doing. I mean, it's like, that's why my 187 custom trucks, that's why I stay with that, because I know people like it. I know people are gonna buy them. Maybe not for a lot, maybe for a ton. You never know.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Like, I think I know how much those are worth, but will people that are looking at it on eBay think that it's worth that much? Yeah. I mean, is it so far of a niche item that they're like, I like it, it's cool. It's neat that somebody built it, but I don't need it for my layout. Not at all. I don't need it for my collection either.
It's hard with some stuff because, you know, before I list something, I look it up to see if there's any others on there. Like, there's a guy on eBay that builds nothing but 187th movie buildings, like Addams Family house dioramas and Bates Motel.
I've seen that guy, and he's selling them for way too much. But he's selling them, so maybe I need to do that too.
I was at the Lansing train show like 4 years ago, and the guy had a Addams Family house on like a diorama, and it was all built and everything. Yeah. I said, "How much you want?" He said, like $60, and I said, "Well, you take 40," and and he sold it to me. I turned around and put it on eBay, and it sold it for $400. I mean,
what?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm in the wrong business. Look, I'm going to show you something.
The hard thing with that though is, like,
I don't do that
all the time.
Right, and it could have sold for 40 or less.
Yeah.
But you lucked out, and it sold for that much. So yeah, no, that makes sense. I totally get that, and it's driving me crazy that you're talking to me about it. Hold on, I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
I got to get it all plugged in. Right? That's that plug. Where's this other plug? Okay. Here's this other plug. There we go. Okay. I'm going to turn this screen around. So that's my Mel's Diner. And get Stay Puff out of there. That's my Mel's Diner. And I bought 3 of these kits, and I built them all the same way. So they have that neon lighting around it. They have the interior lights, and then they have people inside them sitting at the dining tables. Yeah. And that's all it has. So it has the neon lights, the interior lights, and the same interior lights are the same exterior lights for the parking back there. The sign up there doesn't light up. It's just these 2 lights for the interior and the exterior. And I was asking $150, ready to go, with 3 batteries in it. And then there will be another one for the neon one. But when I first built this one, this was the first one. And I built it to where it unfortunately has that plug-in, like a phone charger has a plug.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. So I bought the wrong plug-in part for this blue light, but the rest of them I bought the right one. So we'll have these 2 battery ports there to light it up. So I thought $150 for this, and I only sold one, and I haven't sold the other one, and it's been sitting in my room for, I don't know, over a year and a half now, not moving. So yeah, I thought that looks like it's worth $150. It's a ready to go building that you can put anywhere that you have room for it, and it lights up, and it's literally ready to go. Come on now. How could you not want that? That thing looks awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only sold one. It pissed me off. Although I didn't spend a lot on it. I mean, the lighting kit for the interior and exterior was $10, and then that neon light was $7. And I already had all the people. They're just like, you can buy like 100 of them for like $12 or $10 on eBay or something. They're those kind of people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's not a lot into the kit, so I thought $150. I'd at least be making $50 out of everything I put into it off of it. But no, still can't sell it.
The thing about that Addams Family house I sold, I put it on there and it sold for 400, and like that was the only one on there. But like, you know, about 2 months later, that one guy started building them, and he's had them on there ever since. So it ruined my chances to sell them anymore. So
I never put that Mel Steiner on eBay neither, though. So
yeah,
you're giving me some major ideas.
Yeah, buildings do good. I mean,
well, I know Joseph Belivens, he custom makes one-off buildings, and he's selling on my eBay. He was selling them for cheap until I told him, look, dude, I think it's worth this much. And then he put it to that much or higher, and he's selling them for that much too. So I was like, see, there you go. You were selling for way too cheap. Now I'm wondering, put that baby on eBay, see how high that sucker goes. I mean, if it's a ready-to-go building that has lights and everything, people inside, I mean, come on now. You're just missing the music.
Joseph does awesome stuff with his buildings. He impresses me every time. I mean,
he does. He
I got 3 or 4. I've had him build 3. Yeah. He built my Love's truck stop for me. I mean,
oh, nice.
And he built a Wendy's for me and another restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, his skills are so, without being a construction worker, building designer, his skills are really good. And I wish I had even a little bit of his talent for scratch building stuff like that. Because anything I build already has instructions on how to build it, already has pre-cut everything, and the cars are already built. I'm just taking pieces off of them or adding pieces onto them to make, a better looking car. He's taken something that is nothing, printing it out or cutting it out and completely transforming nothing into like gold.
And he can do it quick too. That's another thing. He can do it like
he
boom, it's out.
He built my my Marty McFly house.
Yeah, I seen that.
Just so fast. He said, "Hey, would you be interested in this?" And he just showed me like a design. I was like, "Hell yeah, I would. I want that." And I mean, I don't think he worked on it full time, but he was done with it pretty quick. And it took him a little while to ship it, but I mean, I didn't care. He's giving it to me. And I think he was just testing his skills or something. I don't know. But he built it, and I was like, holy crap, dude. I could sell this thing for so much money. I'm not, but I could.
I watch his eBay, and like if he lists a building, he looks like he sells it like within an hour. It seems. Right. Like it says new items listed from Joseph, and then I click on it and he has no items, and I look at sold, and he's sold them already.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love him.
He is.
I wish he lived really close to me. I told him to move here to North Carolina. We could be best friends, but he said no.
Yeah, we were just talking about that a couple of days ago. He's like, I said I was going to stop there because I was maybe going to be in Texas next year. So I figured I might stop there. Yeah.
Because, Bob Johnson, one of the founders of the 187th Scale Club and group, he lives out there along with Dan Goins, which is another founder.
Yeah.
He lives out there. And then the Kellys, Robert Kelly and his dad.
Yeah.
Excuse me, whatever his dad's name is. The guys that build the cranes all day, every day. They live out there too. So there's a good little group of people out there that probably live relatively close. I don't know.
I know. I don't know which one of those. I can't remember off the top of my head, but one of them lives like a couple blocks away or something like that from Joseph. We were just talking about
it was pretty close because he went to this storage shed and found like a gold mine in there.
Yeah. We were just talking about that like 3 or 4 days ago.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, he's cool. He really is. I'm so glad that he joined the group and we were able to become friends because he's definitely a needed asset for the hobby.
Yeah.
Just in vehicles and buildings, alone. And plus, he's a super cool guy, so you can't beat that.
Yeah, he is.
Because he could have all those skills and be a dick, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's a pretty cool guy. Yeah, and his 3D printing capabilities blowing my mind. I can't figure out my 3D printer to save my life. Can't figure it out. I know you printed some stuff, so you figured out something about it. I can't figure out nothing about it.
Yeah, I would say close to 100% of my stuff I build has 3D printed accessories on it. So, at least accessories. Some things I 3D print 100%.
Whatever you and your skills of 3D printing.
Yeah.
No, he showed me these the program, and it's like reading Chinese. I don't get it. And then he came over to my house because he was working in Virginia and he was 3 hours away. He said, I'm gonna come over. I was like, sweet. And so I put him to work on the computer. He got the computer working and we were up and running on the thing. And then we were doing some testing on the 3D printer and the leveling bed wasn't right. And we were trying to level it and it wouldn't level for nothing. We kept unwinding this corner and unwinding this and winding it back and we couldn't get it to work. He spent probably, I don't know, a full hour trying to fool around with this thing. When we couldn't get to work, I was like, you know what? Just print me what I need and I'll pay you for it.
Yeah. Well,
obviously mine's not working.
When it comes to like vehicles and like small stuff, you kind of need a resin 3D printer.
He got one.
Yeah.
Got one? Yeah, I know he's got one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 2, I think. Now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's working on a 3rd.
Yeah, or 10th or 20th or something.
Right. He's gonna quit what he's doing as a regular job and just do that. But you kind of really do, because my Ghostbusters cars are not printed in resin, and you can tell. And I order the highest print, and they're like $39, and it's worth the $39. But at the same time, it could be better with a resin printer. And I think Shapeways needs to up their game in getting resin printers.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how they print their stuff like in a way like nobody else does. I can't remember. It's like, it's not.
I think it's just the machine. I think it's still the same material, the filament, spool, wire thing. I think it's their tips and the latest and greatest of that version of the printers.
Yeah.
Aren't cheap. I'm sure to get a quality as good as they can get them now with that same old style of printing, you got to have like the best version of that printer. So I think that's how they're doing it, to be honest.
I mean, they must check stuff because I'm sure they have to have failed prints all the time. I mean,
you would think that. They don't check stuff. What I found, I ordered a Blues Brothers car with the big, huge horn on top of the roof.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-piece kit. So you got the interior and chassis with wheels, and then you got the body, and it separates. They had no idea that it separated, because when I took it apart, the corner of the rear wheel well, right where the door is, it broke off and it stayed on the chassis. It's nothing I couldn't fix. I'm a master modeler. But I explained that to them. I said, your two-piece model either isn't designed perfectly right or something's off with the printing to where when it prints the two-piece, one corner sticks and conjoins to that second piece. They're like, that's not a two-piece print. That's why I did that. I was like, okay, clearly you don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, I don't think they check it at all, because the very first order I ever printed, I just bought like cheap $15 cars, and it came with the worst quality ever. And I was just using it as a test point, but they had B pillars, which is, all just slanted, like it broke off of the print and then just molded to it. Everything was off and crappy. And I was like, I didn't know you could reach out to them and ask for new stuff because this print was crappy. So I just kept them and used them as junkyard cars. But now that I know, it's like, I know they don't check. They print it, some minimum wage person grabs it and just sticks it in the bag, and it gets shipped.
Well, like I bought the Mad About Cars. He came out with the 2020 whatever Jeep Gladiator truck. Right. So I bought it, and I opened the package, and a Chevy Silverado was inside of it. And I was like, not what I wanted, but and they were like, well, you can keep it too, and don't send it back. So I got a free Chevy, but they sent me a new one. I ended
up getting a second Blues Brothers car because of that same thing too.
Yeah.
The second one did the same thing as the first one did, but I already knew how to fix it anyway. So I was like, okay.
That's what I like.
They're cool. Their customer service is cool about, fixing their issue. You just have to know you can reach out to them to fix that issue.
Yeah.
I didn't know the very first order I got, but now I do.
That's the one good benefit about learning how to do it, is you don't have, because stuff's expensive on there too. I mean, it's not cheap.
Yeah. Right. And if you want that high-end quality, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
I talked to him. He was like the third to last interview I did for the first season, and he's thinking about possibly maybe having customers buy the print from them for a pretty good price, I'm sure. But then once you have the
file,
you can print 100 of them, and make your money back super easy. But
he's
not at that point yet, because he's still making money from Shapeway off of anything that gets printed off of his designs. And, it may outweigh the difference, but I don't know. He's thinking about it. So hopefully, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I was looking into doing some Shapeway stuff. Like I uploaded a couple of my models, but like the money I would have been making was like next to nothing for like what I could sell, for if I paint it and build it. So I was like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm gonna put that Mel's Diner on eBay, see how much I can get for it.
Yeah. You never know.
I mean, I want to reserve for the amount of money I put into it, but that's it.
Yeah. Well, the best thing that
maybe I shouldn't put that though.
But you have two options.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I'll probably, pick, is to buy it now and see. But then that's the thing though. If you do buy it now, it'll sell for that low price I'll put on it, and it could sell for twice as more probably. Yeah. So I don't know.
Or you could put like, 150 bid to win or something. I mean, that's what I do sometimes. And then
I've never really sold anything on there. I don't know how that works. I could buy plenty of stuff on there, and I usually look for the buy it now because I don't want to wait to the end of the bidding.
So but I do bid to win on everything, 99 cents, and let it sell. Just because I like that. I think it's cool, and to see people. Like I sold 2 trucks today. It's the first trucks I've sold all week. One brought 70 and one brought 30. So I mean, it all depends what it is.
Yeah. And depending on how much money you have in both of those, I mean, that's $100. So,
well, that's the big thing is eBay fees. I mean, they take, I would say $15 of all that or something. I mean, it's pretty crazy. And
it's not bad if you're selling stuff for like, 300, 400.
Yeah.
But, if it's, say you only sell for 30, then, it can definitely make a difference in your selling, but.
And I get like new buyers all the time. Like tonight, I had 2 new people that I've never seen before. One guy overseas somewhere, and then another guy in California or something.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I never thought about putting my stuff. I mean, like I said, I never really build to sell. I build for me, and then if somebody wants it bad enough, I'll put some ridiculous price on it. And I got a good deal on those Mel's Diners. I bought the first one, created it, put it on the module, and then I found 2 other ones for like $30 each on eBay. Buy it now. And I was like, holy crap, some of these are going for $60 to $70. Hell yeah, I'm gonna buy them. So I bought those thinking, easy money, I can sell them, but I only post on Facebook. I don't post really anywhere else on, to sell anything.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll look into that.
Yeah, a lot of guys don't like. A lot of guys actually don't like what I do, like sell on eBay. Some of them think like I rip people off and stuff. I've had some weird stuff, and
I mean, if most of your stuff is bid to win, I don't know how you're ripping anybody off.
Yeah, that's like I see guys say, oh, like eBay they call it evil bay all the time,
right?
And they say it sucks, and these guys.
I mean, it may suck. It may suck for them, but it's not you, the seller, doesn't suck. Not all the time.
That's another reason why I do 99 cents. Nobody can complain at that. It's not like I'm putting $400 on something. Buy it now.
yeah, exactly. Which I've seen.
Yeah,
I've seen that. I was talking to somebody on my movie TV group, and I posted that I got a locomotive of the Hogwarts train.
Oh yeah, I've seen
just the steam engine. And the guy says, oh, yeah, I did the same thing. And he had an actual train, HO scale train. I was like, I didn't even knew they made that. And he was like, yeah, look it up online. Just put Bachman Harry Potter train. And then, yeah, sure enough, those train sets, comes in the box. And, probably original price was $150. Those things are like they vary. Some of them are close to 1,000. Yep. Some of them are like 200. But, the bid's still going on those ones that are that low. So some of them that are saying buy it now are like $6.99 and $5.99. And you're like, I'm not buying it for that much. You got to be crazy.
Well, there was one guy in our train club up there. I mean, he dumped the money into like that Lionel stuff. Like every time they came out with a new set, he'd buy it. And he had he was heavily into the Hogwarts Lionel stuff.
Wow.
And on that diorama in there, he had the castle and every Department 56 building you could imagine. And
oh my gosh! I mean, if you're gonna do a themed train set, I guess it would be worth it. I mean, if you liked it that much, then it's worth it to you. And then anybody that if you take that around to shows, it'll be worth showing people that you got thousands upon thousands of dollars into this layout. Yeah. And you're being able to share it with everybody, even though they're not giving you any money for it, but you're able to share your love for that with everybody.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. What he did is he had this layout in his basement. It was a personal layout, and he built it, and he ran across this train club, and he said, "I'm going to donate my whole layout, to you and everything, and put it on display so people can see it." And it was what you call like a 4 seasons layout. It had like a winter, summer, spring, fall. That's neat. Separated. So like on the spring, I believe was Hogwarts. The fall had like Thomas the Train with something else, and then at the top summer there was something. Oh, the winter was Polar Express. That's what it was. And
the problem with that scale too is it's so big, so you got to have so much room to display something that big, like G scale or even when you get into like O scale, even S scale, a regular Hot Wheels scale, S scale. Yeah. That is twice as big as HO. Yeah. And that's twice as less room as you would have for an HO scale. And so you gotta really know what you're doing to cram as much stuff as you want in something so big to get your point across of what you're trying to show.
Well, another thing was it's so like the Oga gauge stuff in it was so loud. It was like unbelievable. I mean, like 10 trains going at once, full speed. Right. There was people that like walked in there and walked out because they couldn't stand it. How loud?
Yeah, it was. It's annoying. It's annoying to see those trains going that quick.
It's like slot cars, kind of. Million miles an hour or whatever.
Right. You watch a steam engine literally going 15 miles an hour in our 1/1 scale, and you're like, a steam engine? Come on now, give me a break.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you're modeling Unstoppable, it's all right. But other than that,
yeah, yeah, make Unstoppable back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
There was this YouTube guy. I don't know what his name is, and I don't really care. But he made these comparison videos with a locomotive train game. So you have like every style of locomotive downloaded in this game. I don't really know what the game is for, but all his videos were comparing engines against each other and doing like having like 5 different steam engines all lined up together, and then just push the throttle up and see which ones, like it's all like in the program of this game or whatever it is, all the mechanisms and all the logistics of each steam engine's built into that steam engine. So it shows you if you were to put a big boy up to like a 1700s 404 or 440, you would see the difference in what they would do. And that's all his whole videos was just comparisons to different locomotives, from diesel to steam to whatever, see whose was fastest for the longest distance or whatever. And it was pretty neat, but at the same time, even the fastest throttle for like the big boy looked like it went up to like 60 to 70 miles an hour. That probably could have went faster, but it looked like it was only going that speed. But you do like a Lionel, and that thing is literally going 120 to like 150 miles an hour. Like those wheels are spinning so quick that sparks are flying off of them. You're like, come on, just at least do it like 80 miles an hour. Don't full throttle it. It's just dumb.
But that's kind of like with that O gauge stuff. I mean, the controllers, it's hard to make them go slow. I mean,
right. I don't think they're meant to do that. I think they're literally meant to just throttle all the way and just.
That's like I once cracked it and I had them all going slow and they're like, "What's wrong with these trains? Like, make them go fast." I was like,
they ran out of oil.
Yeah.
That's funny.
They were always fixing stuff too. We had like a service shop, so people would bring in like a box. Hey, I can't get this working. So like at my last couple of years there, like that's all I did. I was fixing trains for people, and now I guess I could say I know how to work on a Lionel, which is a skill I really didn't want to have. But
right, there's a market for that too, though. Like fixing old, broke down steam engines or diesel engines. I was back in the early 2000s, like super early, like 2000, 2001. I got into an in-scale modular club. And I was living in an apartment, 1-bedroom apartment. I was like, well, this is about as much as I can do, is just have one module, and then I'll just go to a trade meet every other month or every 3 months or something with the club, and we'll set it all up together. And I thought, how neat would that be if I got skilled enough to kit bash steam engines that never existed and make my own version. I wanted to make a double length big boy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put in between the two like an accordion thing in the tender, like the double wide buses.
Yeah,
something completely stupid that wouldn't work in real life, but to allow it to go around the track, the tender just to like bend, and it looks stupid. But I thought, how neat would that be to just monsterize things that never existed and just seems too unrealistic to be in real life. Yeah. But at the same time would be unbelievably neat to see actually working. I never ever got anywhere close to doing that, but I always thought, how cool would that be? I think it would be cool.
Yeah, I've been
maybe just me.
One thing I have been trying to work on a little bit is trying to convert like a Boley HO truck so I can actually run it like on the rails, because I haven't seen that yet. You know, Bachmann makes one, but I was going to try to take a Bachmann apart and build it into like a HO truck and see what that does on eBay. I thought that might be kind of cool.
That would be pretty neat. I mean, because like you said, you haven't seen one, and nobody else has actually seen one unless somebody in their club that's not on social media has built their own version of it, which is probably unlikely. But yeah, that would be pretty neat if you can figure that out.
I know Broadway Limited makes a few things. I actually own two of them. Like they make the little track mobile. It was like a little maintenance.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool. I have one of those.
Yeah, because that little motor that allows that thing to actually move would be perfect probably for that truck to hide easily.
Yeah, I have I don't know where it is right now, but I have the little Ford pickup they made, like the super tiny little thing, and it's got like a DCC decoder in it and everything. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's like smaller than HO in my opinion, like a lot smaller.
Well, that's funny because I was talking to Ken Patterson, about a month ago when I did his episode, and we were talking the future of this hobby we're in is to turn everything into RCs because we got lights now. Yeah. Lights are being put into a whole bunch of stuff. We got the models of almost anything we can think of or we want. Yeah. If you just know the right people to downscale or upscale or whatever. But the next big step is to make everything RC, like Wonderland in Germany.
That's amazing.
So we were talking about that, and I was like, I don't ever need any of my stuff to work. But if anything were to work like that, I just want the Ghostbusters car to move. Like, how neat would that be to have the siren blasting, the lights flashing, and the car driving down the road like it was going to a ghost busting thing or whatever. And I never, after that interview, I never really put much thought into it until 2 weeks ago. And I thought, back in the early 90s, I was working at this dealership. And at the dealership, we had these micro mini radio control cars that were probably Hot Wheel size and had a really tiny controller. And it fit in a clear plastic jar that was this big and about that wide. And the controller sat there, so the controller was rounded, and it had an up and down and a left and right for steering and the gas and the brake, whatever. And I thought, I wonder if those things are still around. So I looked on eBay, and those things aren't being made anymore, but they're still out there to buy for fairly cheap, for like 14 to 20 bucks. I thought, why don't I just buy one? I'll take it all apart, see how much room it would take to do that. How much room it takes, and then maybe take that stuff apart to see how much stuff I can maybe get rid of, maybe the shielding on some stuff and the housing of other things and whatnot, and maybe condense it to fit in an HO scale car. Because I don't want to, I don't have the skills to manufacture a scratch built RC car. I see it on YouTube. I see it on, these German websites and whatnot that they offer. This is how you do whatever. I don't have those skills. But if something already exists that I can just take apart and then transfer, I thought, let me look into that. And for 20 bucks, I can waste that if it doesn't work and I just break everything just to throw that away, because that's not going to break my bank. But if I were to buy the full kit from Germany, spend like, say, 50 to 100 bucks and still can't get it to work, then I'd be pissed. But
so that's what I thought. There's actually a guy on eBay that does exactly what you're talking about. He takes those, what they're called, pop can racers. He takes them and turns them into an HO scale truck, and he's selling them on eBay.
See, all my ideas are already being taken by everybody else.
Well, actually, the problem with those is the parts are like really junky, so they're not high quality. But
and I don't care. I have
a friend on Facebook. Actually, I shared it to my Cherokee Valley page before, and what he does it's $225. He'll take like any HO scale semi and convert it into like hobby grade RC for you. So I shared him over to see it. So if you could look on there if you wanted to. But his name's Trevor. He seems to be a nice guy. I've never personally ordered anything, but I've seen some of his stuff, and it's awesome. I mean, he's even starting to do like excavators in HO and that kind of stuff. Jeez. So it's pretty awesome.
This was what my idea was. They get the same Ghostbusters cars I get from Shapeways, Mad About Cars. It's a hollow car.
Yeah.
The wheels don't roll. It's printed with the whole car. But I chop off those wheels, I gut out the supposed chassis. I have it sent over to East Coast Electric to get all the lights, and I tell them, don't mount the circuit board. Leave the circuit board loose, but not loose enough just to fall out and dangle, But that way I can move it if I need to, and then get an N-scale sugar cube speaker so it can do the sound, and it'll fit under there with the circuit board underneath that car, and maybe have that radio controlled mechanism be small enough, flat enough to fit all that underneath the car. And all I needed to do is move forward and backwards and maybe do a U-turn. I'm not going to race this thing down a module, like 10 different modules on the road and make sure they all connect. I just needed to move and maybe do a circle. That's it. That's what my thought was.
Yeah, a really good idea, I think, for that would be to use I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called the like monorail system. There's like a little magnet under the road.
Yeah, that moves too slow.
Yeah, they're
and it's not realistic enough. But yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying.
So I don't know if you're familiar with Luke Towan on YouTube.
Yeah, he did a whole entire YouTube how-to of that.
His was awesome. He had like even bicycles going.
Yeah, that guy. Screw that guy and his genius ideas. He's way too good. In fact, me and Ken were talking about him. Ken was saying if he could get the views this guy gets, Ken would be on top of the world. But that guy gets like hundreds of thousands of views within a few weeks to a few months.
I follow him. Some of his videos have like 4.2 million views on them.
Right. And you're like, crazy. Who are you? And how long have you been doing this? And how have you reached this many people? It doesn't make any sense.
He's amazing though what he does. I mean, I gotta say, that's kind of where I get some of my
the way he edits his videos too. I'm sure it takes way longer to build a diorama than the 30 minutes he makes in a video, but he seems to know how to do it so seamlessly that it looks like, even though he's doing a slight fast forward just to speed up the process, it looks like he's literally doing one step after another, not needing to wait to buy parts and buy this and buy that. It looks like he figured out a way to seamlessly make it look like it probably only took him 2 hours to build the whole thing, and he just, sped it up by 2 times to make it, a little bit faster or whatever.
Well, that's kind of where I got my inspiration to start my YouTube was actually from him. I kind of do the same sort of thing, but like way, way less skill level. But I've actually, a couple years ago, I private messaged him, and he actually got back with me fairly quick. And
that's neat.
We were talking about, I forgot what I was thinking.
You're like, hey, move next door to me so I can come by your house every day and watch your skills at work.
Yeah.
I'll be your clone.
I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say about him for some reason. But
wait, I'm rubbing off on you. That's why.
Yeah.
Losing my mind. He got back to you super quick because you were messaging him, and that's where you got your inspiration to your YouTube videos. So that's neat. I got the inspiration to do this podcast off of Ken Patterson's What's Neat show, and another guy that does a 125th scale podcast for 125th scale modelers. And I said, you know what? Nobody is doing that podcast for modelers in that scale but that guy. I said, how cool is that? I mean, he doesn't have a huge following, but the idea that he picked that up and decided to do it all on his own with nobody helping him, I said, dude, that's awesome. I can't wait to be a guest on your show. Still haven't. Whatever. Yeah. So I thought, Ken Patterson's doing his show mostly, I'd say 90%, 95% of that show is all about trains. 5% is maybe about vehicles and maybe about other things. I said, nobody's doing one about vehicles and other things like dioramas and modeling and whatever. Mostly about vehicles, but, modeling is modeling no matter what you're doing. So if you're building a house, it's still modeling. You could talk about it, but, nobody's doing it for this kind of thing for our scale.
Yeah.
Said, well, it's never going to be huge, but let me just try it out as well. So, just like you got the inspiration from that Luke guy, I got the inspiration from those two guys. And, this channel's still super small, and I'm not getting that many views on every video, but it's still cool that the people that are watching them are doing what the podcast was intended for, to get to know the modeler, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I care about. I don't need the numbers like Ken. I don't need the numbers like Luke, although they would be great.
Yeah. I finally did remember what we were talking about. He was, we started talking about like the duration of how long he takes to film a video and stuff. And he said it was usually about a month. Cause I mean,
that would make sense.
So he's a full-time pilot, like a passenger pilot in Australia. And he said anytime, any free time, he goes and builds his models. So, I mean, he's still got a full-time job and he still has, 4 million views. So I'm sure he's making some money, but I'm sure he's having fun.
He's definitely making money. For that many views.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be a pilot.
Yeah.
He's making more money off of those views than he is his actual job.
Yeah. He's, I watched before about how much like people like him make on YouTube. It was, I can't remember.
Yeah, he's making more. But at the same time, if you're an airline pilot, why would you quit? You're flying higher than anything in the world besides, UFOs probably. And who knows if he's actually seen some, because you hear a lot of those stories of pilots being able to see them.
That, I'm sure it took a long time to become one. So.
And then, you say you're just flying in Australia. You say you're not an international flight, airline flyer or whatever. Pilot.
He flies just in Australia.
Yeah, it's still super cool because it's like driving a train. You got all this stuff behind you that you're having to be in charge of. And you're the head guy in charge of it all. It's up to you if it gets there or not.
It's funny thing is, right before all this crap happened, with the world and everything, I was just starting to go get my private pilot's license.
Oh, really?
And, I was just, I like literally was like just ready for my first like session, like actually on a plane, and it canceled like everything, and it hasn't started up since. So
I want to get my skydiving license.
But
I don't want to go through the rigmarole of out here, at least in most of the states, if not all the states, you got to do minimum of 10 tandem jumps before you can go solo. I don't want to do not one tandem jump.
Yeah.
I want to jump the hell out that plane, and if I pull the chute, I pull it. If I don't, I don't. I'll sign the waiver saying it's all my fault if I don't pull it.
Yeah.
But I don't need to be strapped to nobody. Let me just jump out.
I remember hearing odds before. It's like 1 in every 3,000 people die skydiving. So I mean, the odds aren't really.
Wouldn't mind if I did die. I look at life like this. I've got a house, got a wife, I've got 2 kids. I've done my job on this planet. I don't need to do nothing else. If I die on that plane, I'll die happy. Why? Because I love thrills like that. That would be the biggest thrill.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I would try it, but
look, I have 2 ways on what I want to die, unless I die without me knowing. If I knew I was going to die, say you had a week to live and it was guaranteed a week, but you were healthy enough to be able to, get around, walk around or whatever, but you only had a week. 2 ways I want to die. I want to rent the fastest car I can and just drive it straight into a wall. Full speed, like 200 miles an hour, something I know I'll never be able to walk away from. Or skydive and not pull the chute. I think those would be the 2 best ways to go if you had control over it. For me.
A car accident?
The worst kind too.
Yeah.
Like if you walked away from that, God said you're not dying in a week.
Yeah.
And if you could walk away from not pulling your chute, jumping from 20,000 feet, you're definitely not dying in a week. Because if that didn't kill you, But and it's funny because I often thought like, how stupid and crazy would that be to build little dioramas of my death? Buy a little like Bachmann, or not a Bachmann, but like a Bosch Lamborghini, and just crunch it up to a brick wall and have the bricks just splatter on the other side or something. It'd be dumb, but at least I'd have a vision of what I want.
Better make sure you have your seatbelt off.
Oh yeah, no, there's no reason to wear it if you were going and intended it for one reason. In fact, I need to disable the airbag too. I'll do some YouTube videos on which it is to disable it. I'll cut it from underneath the dashboard, and I just go for it.
Yeah.
That's why skydiving might be better, because it's literally my choice to pull that chute.
Well, just take a Lamborghini and drive it out of a plane.
Boom. Both. Best of both worlds. That would be fun. I don't know. But whatever. I don't think I'm going to die anytime soon, so.
Never know. You never know.
Right. True. But anyways, man, it's 8:13. You got anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to show?
I guess I could show a few dioramas. I mean,
shoot it.
I guess when we were talking about like collections and stuff before, like I say, I usually sell everything. There is like really only one thing that I kind of collect, and that is Forest Service trucks.
Of course
like,
you do.
Like United States. Flip the screen around. I have quite the collection of these things. So I have a whole diorama here of just all my Forest Service trucks next to a building I had built for me by a good friend of mine, modeled after I believe somewhere in California, the actual Forest Service headquarters, and he built it from pictures for me. And I have a bunch of bully trucks, and this here is my most recent truck. Is this big mule trailer? Actually, I put this in the light. I 3D printed this thing, and it's turned out pretty cool. I'm still working on the cab. It looks kind of crappy, but still working on that a little bit. Some of the stuff you've seen over in the talk we had, whatever, like the trailer park and that sort of thing. This is the farm where I actually got my idea for the Twister truck with the truck there. And there's a lighthouse I built a while back. A few more things. I guess I've been working on these campers recently. Both HO. Got another little thing here. And actually, I was going to show you this one. So I don't know if you know the movie Harry and the Hendersons, the Bigfoot movie. It's one of my favorite movies.
That's the only movie with a Bigfoot in it.
There's a few, but you got to go deep. You got deep cut.
Oh, okay. Mainstream movies with a Bigfoot in it.
But I had my friend make me the Bigfoot museum from Harry and the Hendersons, and he did an awesome job in my opinion. He built this thing. I mean, he's got the little feet on the building, and he's got the people there, and he's got the little gift shop, and built like the Quonset hut like it actually is. And I've actually sourced the vehicles from Mad About Cars in that movie.
Yeah.
The movie, like Harry the Bigfoot, he like puts his head up through the top of the car and like dents it out. So I wanted to make that out of like tinfoil, the roof.
Yeah.
I guess that's in our movie car I was going to talk about.
That's a neat idea because nobody's done that one either. I guarantee nobody's done that one. You're gonna have the few movie vehicles or scenes you have. You're gonna have like one-offs, which is cool.
I believe it's that they had two vehicles. They did. The family drove the station wagon, like the '69 or whatever wagon, and then the 1949 panel van was the one. It was like an old rusty red van, and it had he got in it and like lifted his head up and dented the whole.
I haven't seen that movie since it came out, which was in the 80s?
It was
early
like
90s.
80?
Yeah, so I don't remember what those vehicles were. I know one was a station wagon that he popped his head out and but I don't remember that truck, but that'd be cool too though.
Yeah, I have to
have those two vehicles on that diorama.
Yeah, I've probably watched that movie close to 60, 70 times. I mean, that's like one of my. I'm like heavily into like Bigfoot and Sasquatch stuff, so I have actually a collection of like vintage Sasquatch books and all kinds of stuff.
I just last night, no lie, I ran out of shows to watch, and I like the paranormal stuff, and I like Exploration Unknown and stuff like that, and I love ancient stuff and like Ancient Aliens. I love that stuff. I guess it's my age. More older people tend to watch stupid stuff like that. But I just picked up a Bigfoot, Exploration Bigfoot on demand. And that particular show's on its second season or getting ready for its third season. I don't know, but I started from the beginning.
Yeah.
In the very first episode. And I'm not that huge of a Bigfoot guy. I believe, honestly, in my heart of heart, I believe those things exist, but where it's so deep in the forest, like say like the Mayan jungle, the Amazon, there are hundreds of thousands of miles of Amazon that we've never even seen. We've flown over it 100 million times, probably in airplanes, but we've never walked in it. There's animals there that we don't know about, most likely. Yeah. And I believe, like in the Alps with the Yeti, there's parts of those mountains we've never, ever stepped foot on.
Oh, yeah.
Never. Like our, say, last 300 years of humans have never done it. So is it possible that a Yeti is a real thing? It's possible. Is it likely? Who knows? So I believe the Bigfoot has the possibility of being a real creature that we have not captured and not been able to, really film definitively. Like, everything's so blurry and
And you got the Patterson film. You don't know if that's fake or real or.
I honestly don't think that's real at all. I mean, the damn ape looks back at the person filming it.
Yeah.
And keeps walking. I don't think it would do that. Well, I seriously don't think it would do that.
Like I've been studying like Bigfoot and stuff since I was like 4 years old. Like I've been into it for like a long time. And actually the guy that filmed that was a movie producer. He produced movies. So
there you go, Hollywood.
So I've always been intrigued with Bigfoot and stuff.
But that's what's funny. Like that first episode, they talked to that guy.
Yeah.
And I thought that's pretty cool. So I got into the second episode about halfway through, and then I fell asleep. So I'm going to keep watching and see how far I can go. Because it does, if it can get to the third season, and obviously they haven't found it or there wouldn't be any more seasons, they're still finding all this other stuff. I mean, they're making a show out of something, whether it's mostly nothing and it's just stupid noises or whatever. Still they're still going to distant areas that most humans have never seen yet. And that's what I like. I like seeing new stuff that hasn't been documented or recorded or hasn't found an answer for it yet. That's what I like. Stuff like that.
So like my favorite TV show, like even though it's about 80% fake, is on the Travel Channel. It's called Mountain Monsters. Have you seen that one?
I've no kidding. Not last night, but the night before, they had, I don't know, a special episode of it where everybody's just talking about past things. Yeah, well, that's the first time I ever heard of that. And then they didn't show no monsters; they just showed all these old people talking. I was like, I'm not watching this no more.
So what that was is their team leader passed away recently. Oh. So it was just one episode. The first time they've ever done an episode like that was the other night.
I figured it was. I figured it was a one-off thing.
But the show's been on since like 2012. It wouldn't be called
that if it was just them talking all the time.
Yeah. It's been on since 2012, and it's an awesome show. I can't recommend it enough, but it's more like a funny thing. But I mean, they see some like crazy stuff, like they get sucked in caves and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Well, talk about reality TV and stuff. They were talking like Duck Dynasty blew up out of nowhere, and I never watched the show, and I couldn't figure out why. I thought the whole idea of that show was just stupid and beyond dumb. So I never even bothered to watch it, but they got pretty big.
Oh, they got huge.
It was their 15 minutes of fame because they're not big anymore. In fact, you can probably recognize them because of recent, fame. But if you didn't know who they were, they just looked like Okie Folky from the woods You know, like I would recognize them.
Yeah, but that mountain monster shows they're based in West Virginia, and they're always in North Carolina or West Virginia. So that might be interesting.
One of the Moonshiners is from North Carolina too.
Yeah,
I still don't watch that show neither.
I always liked Appalachian Outlaws about the ginseng hunters. There was a show a while back in the North Carolina mountains. It was an awesome show, but it ended and never came back. But
wow. Well, one neat thing to get back to modeling real quick. One of the most famous reality TV shows, American Pickers.
Yeah.
What is his name? One of our guys that I did an interview with, Samson. Samson, is that his first name or last name? Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Whatever his name was, man, I really feel stupid right now. That guy built American Pickers.
The van?
Truck. Yeah, the van.
I literally built that 2 months ago.
Oh, that's awesome. And he made the decals for it.
Yeah, I made the decals myself.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And he set it on a scene, and then right next to the van, they find the Aerosmith van. So the Aerosmith van is sitting right next to it. It's like that moment when they find it. That's what he captured.
That's awesome.
And talking about reality TV, that's like the link between our hobby and regular reality TV.
See, I thought I was like the first one that ever would have thought of that, but I guess not.
He made it a year or two ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago, I was thinking about it. I have the door where I was going to cut it out and have them carrying an old sign up into the back of the van.
His isn't open.
Yeah.
His is just the regular vehicle all closed up. So
yeah.
You were the first person to think that. So that's cool. God, what is this? Is Samson something? I'm looking on my computer right now. Probably.
You had an interview with him or something?
Yeah, he was the third interview. Super energetic, super nice guy. Has his own channel, YouTube channel too, of him building his layout, which is really cool. His production value, I think he does it all himself, but he knows what the heck he's doing. He's got an opening intro to his YouTube videos. I talked to him about he gave me the idea for this lighting. I was putting this light on my face like this, and I was like, God, this just doesn't seem right. It's like something's wrong. And he says, no, face it to the wall and have the wall bounce back on your face, and that way your face is still lit, but it's not drowning in the light like it was. I was like, that is genius. God, you're smart. But yeah,
I use these studio lights in here. They're just like the square.
Your professional YouTube channel lights? Gee whiz. Well, do you have professional YouTube camera too?
I do actually.
I know. I saw it in the live stream. It was somewhere in that room. I think you showed. I might have been thinking of somebody else. I think you showed it.
But these lights are really cheap.
William Sampson.
Okay.
Was the guy that he's good.
I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah, the video is very good. He shows stuff, and the audio's great. The conversation's great. I think it was like an hour or so long. He's a really good guy. Really good. He hasn't posted anything on his own channel for a few months now, so I haven't reached out to him to see if he's okay, but I hope he's okay. Because he hasn't posted. He normally was posting pretty regularly, and I haven't seen nothing from him for a while. He hasn't posted on any of the Facebook groups we're in, so I don't know. I hope he's okay. But
you have to go back and look at some of his stuff. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, in the description, like I do with everybody, I usually put his Facebook page, and I also put his YouTube channel in there too, I believe. So you can look at his past YouTube channels or videos, but he's been posting for a long time on YouTube because he's been building his layout for a long time. And it seems like he's I didn't really ask him, but I think he's doing it all on his own, possibly. So, and his videos are good. They're edited really good. He puts sound effects in them. He changes his voice to go deeper or higher. I mean, this guy knows what he's doing. I wish he lived like right next door so he could teach me.
Yeah, I do. I started to do the stop motion in my videos.
Oh, nice.
The trailer park was a cool one. I have a motorcycle where it starts up and then drives away at the end.
On its own? Or do you have people on it?
Oh, no, it's got a guy on it. And,
okay. I was going to say, that's a magic bike.
Yeah.
Where's Harry Potter at?
It's pretty cool, though. Like, in the beginning, I have like a lower Jeep, and it's playing like rap music driving in.
Oh, that's neat. Like
and then,
you would see in a trailer park.
Yeah. That build was very, stereotypical, but
you know what though? It brings the realism to the scene.
Yeah, it does. Well, I got that idea from like Luke Towan. He always does the stop motion, so I thought I'm gonna try that.
And his stop motion's almost seamless.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell that's what it is, but he knows how to edit it. It's so good. I mean, it doesn't look like it's stop motion because of his flawless, smooth editing. You know it is. That's the only way he could have done it, but it's smooth, I
did a little bit of stop motion on the lighthouse diorama, and that was all right, but the trailer park was a lot better. I got better at it as I went along, but it's pretty cool if you ever check that out. It's at the very beginning and then the very end. I always do like a stop motion, a car driving in and driving out at the end. So it's pretty cool.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen most of your videos. I've seen a few.
I only have 2 videos actually live right now. So
maybe it's not a few. Maybe it's just one. Maybe I'm looking at somebody else's videos too. Then I don't know. I watch a lot of YouTube. I have a lot of downtime while I work, and that's all that's on my phone is YouTube. Unless I run out of YouTube, and then I have to go to like HBO Max or Netflix or something to find a series to watch.
Yeah.
But it's mostly YouTube podcasts and videos of modeling and cars and whatever. So.
Yeah, but I'd recommend the trailer park one was my best yet. I mean, it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed building that.
Okay. I'm going to watch it. And then I'll comment. And then I'll like it to grow your channel.
Yeah. I just hit 50 subscribers today.
Woo! No kidding. So the last podcast of last season was Brian Donato.
Yeah.
Unsuspectedly, he is the 3rd highest viewed video, and he was the last on my channel. He's got over 300 views. And I don't know how. I don't know why he was more viewed than others, because most people, I'd say 70% of the people, 70 out of 30, so 80% of the people, 90% of the people hadn't even broke 100 views.
Yeah.
And Ken Patterson's got the most. He's broke 400 views. Our podcast is the 2nd highest at like 330, and then Brian's at like 317.
Yeah.
I don't understand why his is so high. Not that I mind it. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Good for him too, for people being able to see him and hear him talk and explain stuff and whatnot. But it's weird how some get high, some doesn't. I don't know.
This will probably get like 12.
I have not one of my lowest videos have 12, so yours will get higher. I won't lie. 2nd season actually starts February 1st, and that's going to have Bob Johnson, and then yours is the next week after that.
Okay.
So fortunately, you got like a whole month to wait till this gets uploaded. But
hey, my birthday's February 6th, so it'll be around then, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, close to that. Maybe I'll upload it early for your birthday. I normally just do it on Mondays, but you never know, birthday boy. You might get lucky. Might get famous overnight.
Yeah.
On your birthday.
We're going to beat Luke Towan with this video.
You think so? Ooh, let's hope so. What I'll do, I'll share this video on his Facebook post, and then we'll see how many people will say, we mentioned you and we talked all about you on here. So you watch it too, and then recommend us to all your viewers. But right on, man. It's 8:30. Yeah. It's close to 2.5 hours. So I know we didn't start exactly at 6 because I didn't start recording exactly at 6. So 2.5 hours. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then don't forget, live stream January 28th. That's going to be the kickoff to the next season, to this season.
I'll see if I can join that.
If you don't, that's cool. If you do, that's cool too. This time I'll actually have the live stream working on the right YouTube channel. I didn't have it working last time. I had it on my personal YouTube channel. That's not what everybody subscribed to. Oops. But right on, man. I'll have a link to your Facebook page and your YouTube channel in the description below, so everybody that is interested in knowing more about London, you can check that out and check out his YouTube video, and be sure to subscribe to it. Be sure to like it, because that'll help him. And don't forget to do the same to this video, and be sure to comment too, because the more comments, the more likes, the more subscriptions only helps both of our channels thrive bigger and better. With that being said, if you want to hold on real quick, I'll just end the recording. This is another episode with London. Hope you all like it. We'll see you guys next. See ya.